Now I'll do a very quick recap. We were talking about consolidation indicator yesterday. So consolidation indicator, I think I'll just do it again, consolidation, because that's very important. Sorry. Okay, so you're talking about consolidation indicator, which is a flag, and that will have many values like 4, 3, 2, 1 and 9. 4 means it's a new record, 3 means queued for match, 2 means match is done and it's queued for merge. Q means pending, 1 means it's master data, and 9 means on hold. Okay, so 9 means that thing is on hold, right? Right, so I hope you understood. If not, if you have still any doubts on this, you can ask, because I'll move ahead now. Right, so we have loaded the data with consolidation indicator 4, and yesterday I have demonstrated you the 4, 3, 2, 1. Right now, and in this picture, if I try to explain that, then you see that here it is 4, then you start the match job, there's nothing but the match, so queued for matching, it becomes 3, then you do the matching, right, then it becomes 2, right, and then finally it becomes 1. So 3 to 2, 1 minute. My voice is clear enough, right? Do you have any issues hearing? So I'm getting some message. Okay, fine, thanks for informing. All right, 1 minute. Okay, right, sorry for that. Yeah, and the consolidation indicator is the process, that is this 4, 3, 2, 1. Now that's completely automatic, so you don't have to go and change that manually or something. No, this is something for your understanding, that's it. So this is just for your understanding that okay, that's how it's going on. You don't have to first of all, you don't have to do anything manually on the base object, because everything is through a job. You can't insert manually data into the base object. There are a lot of system columns and you can't insert data into those system columns, right? So 4 to 3, simple. 3 to 2, simple. All right, now 2 to 1. Now when it becomes 2 to 1, there are two ways in which that can be done. So one of the ways is something called as auto merge, and other one is manual merge, right? So you can, once the match is done, you can automatically merge the records, or you can manually merge the records. So whatever you have, like whatever idea you have, that is nothing but that's called as the auto merge. Auto merge means when you run the job, like for example, if I go and this one, sorry, so there is something called as auto merge job. If I go and run it, then you will see that records will automatically be merged. Now if that's the case, why do we have something called as manual merge here? What's the significance of this manual merge? The significance is, let's say that I will create a rule like this. This rule is full name, and then date of birth, then gender, then bank account number. All right, now if I create a rule that if these 4 things they match for 2 customers, if they match for 2 customers, then consider them as same, right? That's called as a match rule. Now if you analyze this match rule, you will understand that this is a like a sure-shot match rule. Sure-shot in the sense that definitely if these 4 matches, then we are talking about the same customer. There's no doubt at all, right? Now let's say that I have another match rule. It's something like this. So I had just a full name and gender. So if the full name and the gender matches for two customers, so can you tell me, is it something, is it a sure rule? I mean, like, is it possible that different people can have this match? Possible, right? For example, my name and my gender, there will be at least hundreds of people in the world with that name and that gender. So this is called as a low confidence rule. Confidence rule. So we don't want to merge this kind of customers. Why? If I do it, I've that's wrong. So these kind of rules, so this kind of rule, when I create the first rule, I will make it as auto rule. This is called as an auto rule, and this one is called as a manual rule. Manual rule. Okay, so auto rule I have, and I have manual rule. For example, if I go here, I'll show you the very quickly. One second. Okay, for example, you can see that these two, I have some almost like 10 rules. Out of 10 rules, the first two, these two rules are auto, and remaining all rules are manual rules. Okay, these are all manual rules. The first two are auto rules, right? So you understood what is the purpose of auto rule. The purpose of auto rule is it's a high confidence rule. So you're sure that it's the same customer. So you merge them. Simple logic, right? Now you have a low confidence rule. Now what is the significance of a low confidence rule? So can't I just remove that? I mean, why is it necessary even? It is necessary because I would like to analyze, I would like to understand that, okay, these two customers have something in common, or something like, okay, it might be possible that these two are duplicates. So that's a normal activity for an MDM data steward or a business guy, to understand if there are duplicates. So that's why I have manual rules. So in case of manual rules, what will happen is the records will never be merged automatically. All right. So someone, and that someone is called as a data steward. That someone is called as a data steward. So a data steward will check these records, and he will check it manually. So he will check like, okay, 101 John, I have it, and he's in Texas something, and then I have another guy 102 John K, all right, and he's in Texas L, and numbers are something like this, and here also the numbers are matching. So he will manually do the comparison. You understand? Manually means he'll check it. So how will he do that? See, a data steward is someone who is definitely expert on data. That's what is the meaning of data steward. Someone who is expert on the data, right? So since he's expert on the data, what expert in the sense, see, so typically data steward will be someone who is from the business side, right? And he will have um, complete understanding on the source systems. He will have an understanding that how data is generated in the source systems, how the data is generated in the source systems, and everything about it. You will never have that much visibility on the business as the data steward, right? So that's why data steward will do a lot of analysis, and he will determine if these two are actually same or different. And if these two are same, what he will do is he will do something called as manually merge the records. How will he do that? technically he will do it using something called as the merge manager, or in IDD, Informatica Data Director, or there are other ways also using SIF, but normally he will do it using the IDD. That's the most widely used thing, right? And if he feels that the records are different, then what he'll do, if he feels that they are different, he will create two separate records. You understand? He will create two separate records. Very simple logic. All right. Okay, so that's what is the meaning of manual merge. But anyway, like once either you do it auto or manual, doesn't matters. The result is master data is created. Master data is generated as a result of auto or manual, and that's the end of the cycle. Almost the end, not the end, because in this picture you see something called as unmerge also. Right now, unmerge is just like it's the reverse of merge. What is merge? You remove duplicates. What's unmerge? You create duplicates. So it's just the reverse. It means that why would I need an unmerge? And is it something that do I need to do it daily? No. First of all, understand that this is a daily activity. This is a daily activity. This is a daily activity. Not this one. This is always on request. What kind of request? Just 1 minute. I'm getting one call. 1 minute.
Sunil, Arvind here.
Yeah, Arvind. I was.
Hey, okay. So just a quick question. Let's say, so the business has no, okay, based on our process, we have merged like 3-4 records. But I know business says, okay, can you okay, that the whatever the process that we put in, it's not right. So basically, one of the wrong record got part of that merge.
Right.
So in that case, how do I go out and unmerge it? Like is there a manual process or is there an automation
Yeah,
process? Is there?
this is something that I was going to discuss. You have discussed now. That's okay. I'll explain now. Yeah.
Okay,
See,
no worries.
yeah, I'll explain it from the beginning because I think you have already attended the session and you know most of the things, but others don't know. Right. So I'll explain quickly. See, that normally the process of unmerge, what Arvind explained, that's correct. So what will happen is, let's say you have merged these two customers. How? You created some rule, auto rule mostly, and based on a rule, it resulted in a match. Right. Now this resulted in a match. What will happen? Informatica will merge that. All right. Now you publish that data to the downstream application. What happens then? You will have many types of downstream application. You will have call center applications. This is the most irritating guys, not irritating, but they'll raise many issues. And then you will have data warehouses, CRM, many things. Out of which the call center guys, they will interact very actively, I mean in a very active manner with your MDM. So when they get a query, let's say, or something about this guy, John, right? Now they will analyze and they will understand that, okay, this is not correct. This is something that's, they feel that you have merged two incorrect customers, right? So they will raise a ticket against you, your team raise a ticket that you have done a wrong merge. These two are different customers. Please justify why that was done. First thing is justify why that was done and correct that, right? So first thing is, justification is a long story. First thing is you should correct, verify what they are saying because they might be wrong as well. So verify that. How will you do that? You can't do it by yourself. You have to call this guy, data steward, and then you do it. Like you will, it's very simple. You analyze the data and all that in the source systems and see if they are same or different. If they are different, then what you do is you immediately unmerge them, plus immediately in the sense word, like in 15 days, 1 week, or if depends. You unmerge them, plus you analyze why that happened. Analyze why that happened. So most probably this would be because of a uh, inaccurate or incorrect match rule. That's something that we'll see later. And then you would do the unmerge. Now talking about the unmerge, how can that be done? The unmerge. Now the unmerge can be done in many ways. You can do the unmerge in the merge manager using in the merge manager, this tool. Sorry, in the data manager, you can do the unmerge, or you can do the unmerge in the IDD, Informatica Data Director. Or let's say you have done a blunder, that is, let's say 10,000 records you have wrongly merged. So it's not possible for me to just go and check each and every record. That will take 1 year, right? So in that case, I will use something called as SIF. In SIF, I have something called as execute batch unmerge. There is a SIF API called as execute batch unmerge, which we'll see later. So using this SIF API, you can even unmerge millions of records. You can unmerge billions of records. Just try to remember this if you can, which we'll see later. That's how it is done. Now that's what is the unmerge process. Alright, now once that's done, so I already have the master data. So what next now? What next is the most important thing here. This is the most important thing, is the publish. Because see, you are creating master data, right? But for why are you creating that? For example, let's say that see, I'll tell you something very important. Let's say MDM, I'll compare that to wheat. So you might be eating bread and many different things. Now bread is useful because you can eat that. You can't eat wheat. You can't eat, right? You have to, it's not ready to eat. You need to do something. Similarly, you have MDM. MDM is by itself, it is useless. It means that it's just like wheat. So by itself, it's not of much use. But when you give it to the chef or someone or to an animal, then he makes a proper usage of it, right? So the same thing with MDM. MDM by itself does not make much of sense. But when MDM is used by the downstream application, so or your subscribers, downstream applications or subscribers, then that becomes useful. Alright, so downstream applications, when I say, there can be anything. It can be BI applications, data warehouse applications, CRM applications. It can be your what I explained, call center application, or if it is used as a client registration portal, then you will have a lot of more applications. Alright, now there's no limit on the downstream applications. Literally, if let's say if I'm running a IT team of, let's say, some technology, let's say XYZ, some technology, doesn't matters, I'll be still interested in this. Why? Because that I get a complete view of the customer. I know that, okay, this guy is there in here, so that's important for me. All right, so that completes the cycle. Now how data will be published? Again, ETL will come into picture. ETL, in batch mode you have ETL, MDM, ETL, right? So this ETL, and then you have downstream, and so this one, this is, anyway, you know this, upstream. Okay, and just 1 minute. One second. Okay, fine. Right, and how that's done, that is something that we'll see later on, how ETL that is done. There can be delta, full, same thing. What happens here, it's the same logic here. not much different, right? Now anyway, that's something that was on the batch side. Like on the batch side, this is how it was done. You understand what's a batch? So we have two things. We have something like a batch mode, we have something like a real time mode. Batch mode and real time mode. So this is something that you know this. I'm sure that you know this because that's what you have been doing. You've been doing in your life, right? Batch mode is something means something that's implemented by 95% of companies. What it means is it's scheduled activities. Scheduled activities in the sense, like for example, this is Informatica batch, like currently Informatica MDM batch. So what is happening? Like I'm gathering people and then I'm at a particular time I'm conducting the session. That's called as batch. All right. Now in real time, see, let's say that at 11, uh, let's say at 9 a.m. right? Of course, morning, 9 a.m. morning. I have a customer, Sunil, and his address was Texas. Let's say that his address got changed to Vegas. Okay, Vegas. Now that happened at 9 a.m. in morning. All right. Now this is the change that happened in my source. Now the question is, how do I process this change in MDM? How do I process it? Shall I do it immediately or shall I do it after business hours? If we're talking about after business hours typically at 8 p.m. right? Now that's scheduled activity. That's a batch job. So I will gather all the changes. Like Sunil's address got changed, Amit got changed, John's address got changed, then someone's contact got changed. I'll gather all those changes and process them after business hours, right? But but let's say that I will process that immediately. I can't wait. Why? Because my downstream application is a call center. Now they want updated information. Why? You can understand. Because I mean that's how it works in some MDM. In that case, you might have to integrate, do it in a real-time mode. Now when we talk about real-time mode, then this will not be the same anymore. This will be something like ETL will not come into play. But before that, even first understand that there are two things: real time, near real time. Real time means it happens in reality, right? So in MDM we don't need real time. What we need is near real time, because real time means it's highly critical. Try to understand. So real time means, let's say a bank ATM. Now what you do is you take your phone, you log in into your, use your net banking and check your balance, go to the ATM, withdraw the money, immediately refresh. You will see it will be reflected in nanoseconds or even lesser than that. Why? Because that's real time. Now in MDM we don't need real time. It means that what we need is near real time. It means if the change happened at 9 a.m. then I should be able to process this before 9:30, or you can say a gap of half an hour is permitted. A gap of half an hour. Now that's okay. That's not a problem. But not more than that. Half an hour, 1 hour, it's okay. Normally they say like 10-15 minutes. That's how it is. And normally it will be 10-15 minutes, but I'm just mentioning 30 minutes. That's real time. And if you want to implement that, then there will be slight change here. See here, this is batch. In an real time, you will see source. Then there are a lot of things that are involved here, but I don't want to complicate things. This is something that we'll see later in the SIF session, but this is how it's done. Or message queue, MQ or JMS queue to downstream. So ETL will not come into picture normally. I'm not saying that always, because ETL can also come in picture here. For example, uh, before that you can also have an ETL, but this ETL will be as a web service, so which is something that you will not understand now. So that's why I just neglected it. ETL as a web service might be used, right? But anyway, let's not complicate things. That we'll see later in SIF session. So source, SIF, ETL,
Hey, hey,
MDM,
Sunil.
downstream. Yeah.
Hey, Sunil, a quick question. Sorry for bothering. So, are you saying in this case, right, the near real time? Are you saying MDM can directly push the data into the messaging, mechanism, whatever you have there, or
Right.
is it some kind of tool actually pushing it?
No, that's correct. That's a very good question, because the answer is yes. Informatica can directly push it. That's a very good thing, because if you see other systems, that will not be the case with most of the other softwares. Because, for example, like let's say data warehouse, they can't push it, so they have to use some other server like process integration servers to do it. But Informatica MDM, that's automatic. You don't have to do anything, and that feature is called as the message queues. And you're going to configure triggers, something like this. Now, once you configure triggers, uh,
Yep.
then let's say like this. So you select the queues, and then you define the event that add new data. It means that if you try to insert a record in the party, you will see that automatically a message will go to the JMS queue or
Yep.
the message queue. So this is completely automatic, which is in fact a very good feature, because a lot of software they don't have this feature. And this is very similar to the product called as Power Exchange.
Got it. Got it. So, as a part of this class, will we get a chance to play around with that feature, or?
That is already a topic, so don't worry on.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
So that's into the advanced topic, that is this one, the JMS queue. So I'll tell you how to
Got it.
create a JMS queue and how to, we'll see complete thing.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. Right, now, okay, so this is not as simple as what you are thinking, but this is slightly complicated. Why complicated? It's not your fault or something. Try to understand, because this is reason this is complicated is you will see many different teams involved in here. You will see an EAI team, right? You will see an ETL team, data quality team, and there are many, like a BPL guy, business process language, like a SOA guy. So many different things will be there. So real time is slightly complex. So this we'll see in the SIF session. But anyway, this is how it's done, and that's clearly explained in this diagram. If you go here, then you will see this here, that when it's talking about ETL, it's talking about batch mode. When it's talking about any of this, all of these are same actually. Okay, enterprise service bus, that's ESB, enterprise application integration, message oriented middleware, all are same. Slight differences, message queues, topics, they're completely same only. Okay, so that's what is signified here, and it's pretty much the same diagram. I'll just quickly see if I'm missing something. No, and you see something called as link here. Now that link is not there anymore, so that link feature is disabled from 9.7 Watson onwards, right? And this is moreover moved to the MDM registry edition, this feature. Okay, linking and all that, MDM registry edition. So anyway, linking is not at all used nowadays. With most of the MDM projects, very rarely you will see this. Link means virtual merge. It means you don't merge the records. You don't merge it, you just tag them as same. You say that, okay, this guy and this guy are same, but you don't change anything, you don't merge it, right? So that was the architecture on the data flow side. Now let's see that same thing, architecture only, but from the software point of view. So how it is arranged. So if you see this picture, then you will see something called as three boxes. I can see many things, but one box, second area, third area, right? So first question, Informatica is what kind of architecture? It's a 3-tier architecture. So it has 3 tires, just like your something like bicycle tires, right? So 3 tires, 1, 2, 3, right? And the most important tire is of course the database tire. That's the below, that's the bottommost tire. Normally is the most important because that's where your data is stored, right? So first let's study this and this. Okay, so if I give you theoretical concepts, you will not understand. I have to demonstrate something. Let's assume that I have this and I have this, just 2 tires. Let's assume it. Alright, now what is this tire? This is the GUI tire, so graphical user interface. That's nothing but this tool. That's the GUI layer, right? And the bottommost tire is nothing but the database tire or the database. Alright, now you will see that this tire, whatever you do in this tire will be ultimately stored in the database. For example, let's say I'll just quickly demonstrate something. So let's say if I log in here, let me log into CMX system once. Yeah, see here, I will go here to users. Let me try to create a user. So let's say that I am going, how many users are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, and there will be one additional user also. So if I go and check this table, now this is called as a metadata table or it's a repository table. We'll see this table. Now you can see that how many entries are there? 8 entries. Alright, now let me go and create a user called as Sunil. So Sunil, just copy paste. Alright, now when I say OK, you will see something here. So just see, there were 8, right? Now it's 9. This is the user that was created. Sunil, this is something that's created, right? So you understood what I'm trying to show, demonstrate. You have this layer, you have this layer. So this layer is communicating with this layer, and ultimately whatever you do in this topmost layer is nothing but that will be stored in the database layer. Alright, now I have a problem. The problem is same as this. See, life is very easy if you follow something. Let's say if I'm hungry, then I'll go to a hotel. Then let's say I have a waiter, then I have kitchen. So this is also a 3-tier architecture. 3-tier architecture of your dinner, right? Now Sunil, waiter, kitchen. Now if Sunil directly will communicate with kitchen, what is the problem? What's the problem? It's very difficult. You will lose all the customers. Why? Because the chef has no idea how to talk to customers, and chef is very busy. So it's very difficult for the kitchen guys to manage directly the customer. So that's why I have this middle layer. You understood, right? Why this middle layer is important. So here also I have a middle layer. So the communication is never direct. So this will never directly, it will not communicate. You have a middle layer, 1, 2, 3. So this will make a connection to the middle layer. That's called as the application server layer. And then this makes a connection with the lowest most layer. That's the database layer. So it means that in this example, when I try to create a user, what would happen? What will happen is this tool will send a message to the application server that you create the user, right? And then this application server will do the database operation. That is what kind of database operation? This one, inserting a record in this table, right? That's the 3-tier architecture, and I hope you understood. Now let me go a bit deeper. So in the database layer, I have something called as the master database, ORS, ORS, ORS. So you can see it's like you have one manager, then you have different kind of technical resources, right? So you guessed it right. I mean, like, it's just like the manager and employee model. All right. Now you know that how it works. So manager will not be responsible for your technical coding. So he is something that I won't say he won't do anything, but he'll manage the resource. All right. So, but the main workhouse or whatever you say, that's the ORS. It means whatever we have discussed. Like we have discussed this data flow, we have discussed all of this stuff, right? Now all of this, all these things, I mean, like the landing table, staging table, base object, everything that you see, now that thing happens in the ORS, not in the master database. Again, I'm repeating, the landing, staging, match, merge, data quality, every stuff that will happen in the ORS only. It has nothing to do with the master database. So why do we use a master database? I told you, right? Just like a manager. It manages the ORSs, then the authentication. So you are working on something. Now you get a call from XYZ, some guy, that can you solve this request? You can't do it because you have to take the permission from manager that, okay, I'm getting, someone is trying to give me some work. Can I do that? Shall I do? It's like that. So this is the gateway. This is the manager, right? And you will see that it's very simple in this tool. So the logic is like this, that whatever is done in this thing, in databases to workflow manager, that's all of that is master database, and whatever you do from here to the end below, all that stuff is nothing but your ORS database. The more of it we'll see very soon, right? And why do I have multiple ORS? That might be a question. Multiple ORS typically they are used for two things normally. For implementing multi-domain, it means, like, see here. So I have a customer ORS, I have a product ORS, means product MDM. I have a location ORS, means location MDM. Similarly, I could have an employee MDM, that's separate ORS for that. So that's the reason why I have multiple ORS. Now, question: will I always see something like this? Like when I join a company, let's say that's already running. Now, will I see multiple ORS databases? No. There are very less chances that you will see multiple ORS database. There are 95% chances that when you click on this, you will see one master database, one ORS database. You will not see hundreds of ORS database. Very rarely you might see two. Now when you see two, the meaning is either it's multi-domain, or second thing is you have one ORS for development, one for SIT, one for UAT. So this is another reason why this comes in handy. Because of these two things, I might have multiple ORS, right? But normally it will be one only, so no need to worry.
Okay. Sunil,
Yeah.
Arvind here.
Yeah.
So how do I promote this ORS from one environment to the other if I have not configured the same multi-domain in the same?
Right.
Let's say, so we should just as, like, in Informatica we always do an XML. So here also is the same.
Yeah, it's the same thing, XML only.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, using the repository manager abilities, you have to do that. So here you have to go and generate the XML file, and then once you generate export it to an XML file. So once you do that, you will have something like this. Yeah. So this is the backup of all my ORSs. Right.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah.
And then I can just say import it into the other environment, just like that, right?
Yeah, just like that. Yeah. And it's quite simple as compared to Power Center. Because if I understand, in Power Center, if you go to admin console and you take the backup, then normally it will be somewhere around from, I've even seen 100 MB size of the XML file to somewhere around, even I've seen 900 MB something. So that's
No, so no. You are talking about backup.
backup
Okay,
complete. I mean, I'm
complete
talking about
backup.
the complete backup. This is the same concept here also. So
Oh, so
see,
what you mean is like you are restoring from one environment to the other.
yeah, I mean,
You
like
take a
when you want to do that, then you have to take take everything, dump it. So you have to take everything.
okay. In case if I don't want the complete ORS, if there is any, is there any other method that I can just
Yeah, you can.
migrate
There are
just
many
to change
things
it?
you can do it from, like if you do it import export, that is full dump. Now if you want to do individual code, like let's say just one table, not more than the one, just one table, then you need to use this visual. You can do that using visual.
Oh, visual. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Fine. Thank you.
Just 1 minute. Okay, right. Now coming to the point, what is a ORS? Frankly speaking, ORS, I can give 100 definitions, but if I directly jump into the heart of what is an ORS, then basically an ORS is nothing but, just give me 1 minute. Yeah, okay, 1 second.
Hey, Sunil, if I
Yeah,
could ask you a quick question, as a follow-up to what Aravind asking before, how do the companies do it though? Do they do it Delta or do they do it as a dump, or is there any,
it's
industry
Delta.
best standard practices? Delta.
Yeah,
Okay.
Delta, always
Yeah,
Delta.
yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, because the
Okay.
full is only used to create environment. We don't create environment every day. That's just a one-time activity. So it's normally Delta only. Okay.
Got it. All right. Thank you.
Now, all right, what is an ORS? So ORS, the most simplest definition of ORS and master database is, if you go here, see, um, let's say this environment. Let's talk about this. So I have one master database and multiple ORS database. How do I know? You see CMX here. It means that's master database. Remaining all are ORSs. All right. Now, what exactly uh, this is? Let's say that ORS underscore demo. So let me go to the database and log in ORS underscore demo, connect. So it means that a ORS is nothing but it's a user in database. First thing, a ORS is nothing but it's a schema or the user in the database, which will contain lot of things like um, bunch of emails, sorry, bunch of your tables. For example, if I go here, now let me check what is in here. So select star from user underscore objects, right? So these are all the things that are there in this thing. And if I write a better query, let's say that object type and count of star, then I will say just group by object type, group by object type. All right. Now an ORS is nothing but it's just a schema that contains this thing. So it basically contains this many tables, that is 300 tables around. Let me do a reverse sort. So it contains almost like 311 tables, triggers, log, view, many things. Out of which, for example, um, let's concentrate on this one slightly, right? So tables, what kind of tables? Tables that store your metadata. For example, I have already shown this one. So C repos user, that's one of the, these are one of the table. Now this is similar to what you have, I think in Power Center you have OPB underscore object, that these are the tables, and MX views. So this is similar to that, right? It's something that stores your metadata, right? That's what is an ORS. And when you create a base object in let's say if I go here and log in here, let's say I will go ahead and create a base object. Just see here, what is the count now? ORS underscore demo. Now this one is 311, right? Now if I go here and say demo, I'm creating a base object, right? This takes some time. Why? Just check it why. Earlier it was, what is the count? 311. Now it is 322. So 11 tables were created. A lot of indexes were also created. So you understood, right? So whatever you do in this area, from here to here, everything is stored in the ORS as tables or as data in tables, right? That's what is the concept of ORS. Now if you want more theoretical stuff, this you go through this PPT later. So training deck 1, this one, okay? So if I show that, yeah, so here it explains clearly again, like this area, 1 minute, okay, the paint shop does not work here. So this is the master database and this is the ORS database. Now these are all the things that happen in ORS, these are all the things that happen in the master, but whatever I explained is more than enough. But still, if you want to learn more, you go through the PPT. Okay, now yeah, so that's what is the so that's what the lowest layer means. All right, now coming to the, so when I said the lowest layer is a database, now can I have any type of database? I mean, like anything in the world, let's say Netza or MySQL, MySQL, anything? No, there's a restriction. The restriction is you can only have Oracle, you can have DB2 from IBM of course, or you can have Microsoft SQL, you can have Microsoft SQL Server also. You can have only these 3 things, and out of which this is also recently, this just came recently. Earlier it was just Oracle DB2, and you will see down the line there might be support for some 3-4 more databases. I think for Power Center, um, as repository, it still supports only 4 or 5 databases, I believe, not more than that. You can use like hundreds of different databases as source, but not as repository. So this is pretty much like the same thing also. Okay, so if someone is asking, like many people have asked me, like, can I use Teradata with Informatica MDM? You can use it as a source, but you can't use this to create your ORS because that's not supported. Okay,